Hi friends, I'm Scott Giles, and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I cover topics related to spirituality, hypno-coaching, and the hypnotic arts and sciences generally. If you want to know more about my professional work or sign up for my free e-newsletter, Power Lines, check out my website, which I'll tag at the end of this video. Today I want to talk about a popular idea that is making the rounds of the self-help circuit. It's about relationship issues, and the idea is called the love languages. It's drawn from the best-selling book titled The 5 Love Languages, The Secret to Love That Lasts by Gary Chapman, PhD. Chapman is a radio host and author born in 1938. He is now a family counselor on the staff of Calvary Baptist Church in North Carolina and has authored other books on the general theme of love languages. They are the 5 love languages for men, the 5 love languages for children, the 5 love languages for teenagers, the 5 love languages for singles. There's even a military edition. And if he hasn't thought up one, the 5 love languages for talking to alien invaders, I'm sure that's coming. Well, the first chapter of the original book is titled, What Happens to Love After the Wedding? And the second chapter is titled, Keeping the Love Tank Full. Those chapter titles capture the essential vibe of the thing, that love is a very complicated matter, and it requires that one give it attention if the love you have at the start of a relationship is to last. You have to do things to keep the fuel tank of a relationship full. He argues, and I think correctly, that people have different ways of expressing affection. And because of this, they sometimes misunderstand each other. It can be like one partner in a relationship is speaking Hebrew while the other is speaking Greek. They're both communicating, sure enough, but they're not able to really understand each other. Chapman wants people to understand each other. He wants the partners in a relationship to educate themselves so they understand their own love language preferences and those of their partner. Then, understanding where they agree and differ to try to express themselves in a way that the other can understand. Well, this is basic good communication and in fact is the foundation of all relationship counseling and coaching. Chapman has come to believe that there are 5 basic ways people express affection in a relationship, and he calls these the love languages. First, there is quality time, where you give your partner undivided attention. For example, Lindsay and I, who have been married now almost 40 years, spend 1 day a week primarily interacting just with each other. Short of a major crisis or illness, we have spent every Wednesday in connection with each other for the last 40 years. It shows that we prioritize our relationship, and that's love language 1, quality time. Second, there is acts of service, and this happens to be the one that's most important to me as a person. When someone does something nice for me, it really touches me deeply. The third love language is words of affirmation. Everyone wants to be appreciated, addressed with a soft and warm tone. Everyone wants to be praised and thanked, especially in public but in private too. The fourth love language is receiving gifts. Now, this one can be, in my opinion, a little iffy because, in my experience, gift giving can be an attempt at manipulation. Well, I've given you a nice thing, therefore you should do what I want. Well, obviously, that's not what Chapman intends. What he means is giving someone a well-chosen, thought-through gift that shows you really understand what would please your partner. It shows you're paying attention. The final love language is physical touch. This can be hand-holding, hugging, snuggling, sexual intimacy if that's appropriate. The trick here is to understand what kinds of touch your partner values. Some like public displays of affection, some do not. Some appreciate a sexy tease, others do not. Knowing the right kinds of physical touch, what to do and what not to do, becomes a love language of its own. Chapman even provides an online quiz to help people figure out their particular love language and that of their partners. I'll post here the URL of that quiz for those interested. So what to make of this? First, I do like the model and I think it is valuable. But there are other relationship typologies that are also valuable. No, the 5 love languages should not be taken as a sort of new astrology. I mean, we have transactional analysis, the Myers-Briggs type indicator, and other models, and all of these typologies involve understanding how we communicate, how our partner communicates, and they all take seriously the difference between people as a normal and good thing. Mastering any of these typologies will improve any relationship because they all bring intentionality and acceptance to the fore. And that is where the action is. They also require tolerance. For too many people practice what I call the Pygmalion project, and this is a term that comes out of the Myers-Briggs type indicator system, but it applies universally. The Pygmalion project is when you decide that your preferences in a relationship are normative, and the degree to which someone is different from you is the degree to which they're wrong. If you make this mistake, and many partners in a relationship do, there's a danger that you'll declare guerrilla war on the other person to get them to change and be more like you. This never works, but it is something a lot of people try. The fact that so many people try to do a Pygmalion project probably explains, at least in part, the very high divorce rate we see now. What builds bonds between people is clarity, understanding, and tolerance for difference. If you have that, then my belief is that any two good people can make a relationship work. And the work of the relationship is coming to understand and welcome where we are different from our partner and show them that we are trying to reach out. As late psychiatrist M. Scott Peck put it, I defined love thus: the will to extend oneself with a purpose of nurturing on one's own or another's spiritual growth. End quote. And I agree. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. It does help me if you let others know about my work and my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe. If I can be of help to you, feel free to reach out through email, my website or Patreon channel. Have a great week.